And the question is, what is your position regarding the exploration for and the development of uranium here in South Dakota?
Here so that I can expound on everything they've said. I am very much in favor of alternative energy development. In fact, it's one of the things that you will see on the sheet I passed out to thousands of people in Lawrence County, talking about how I believe that alternative energy development is one of the best things that we can do here in South Dakota. But when it comes to uranium mining, I've done quite a bit of research up in Harding County. There are 69 abandoned uranium mines on national forest land. Let me say that again, 69 abandoned uranium mines on national forest land in Harding County. The biggest one is the Riley Pass mine. It's an open pit. It's a travesty. Now, it was opened between 1958 and 1962 when the precursor to the Kerr-McGee Company left it, and left that whole area. And right now it is in such a condition that there is a sign, which has since been removed by vandals, that says you may not spend more than 24 hours in this vicinity within a year's period of time, or you do run the risk of suffering radiation sickness. So, with that said, I believe that Kevin's comment about bonding for uranium exploration is very smart. We need to be very careful about what happens in the future. Of course, in situ is much different than an open pit uranium mine. But we also run the risk of contamination of groundwater. Right now, that's a big issue. In the School of Mines, Dr. Stone and Dr. Stetler have done extensive research on the open pit uranium mines in Harding County and the effects of the groundwater that have come from that. And as well in the air. They've done studies with collecting particles in the air. And this is all very important because the gamma radiation and the molybdenum, all these heavy metals that come out of the ground make a big difference to us because it comes out and can cause cancer, and it can also end up in the cattle that we are eating. So I'm in favor of alternative energy. I'm in favor of energy development, and I would advocate for clean sources of nuclear energy. I just want to be careful what we're doing to our land.
I think I need to move to Fred's house because at my house the wind does blow all the time. No, just kidding, Fred. The question regarding supporting uranium development in South Dakota, every time I look at the school districts in the state of Wyoming, I do get a little jealous. The tremendous mineral resources that Wyoming has been blessed with do provide them with a lot of opportunities for their state, both fiscally and their education system specifically. When it comes to uranium in South Dakota, I think that we should pursue it, but we need to be very, very careful. As what happened in Harding County, uranium has been a boom and bust mineral since the very inception. Nuclear is hot again right now. They're talking about developing some new plants here in the United States, but the problems with it are also still there. Where do you store the waste? We still don't have a single repository for long-term nuclear waste storage over time. Also, this new in situ technology that they're using in South Dakota, do we know enough about it? I'm in favor of exploring it, but I also think we need to make sure that we have enough protections in place. Was it last week or the week before that another one of the abandoned gold mines in the hills got designated Superfund site? What we don't want to happen is what the company pulls out, nuclear fades from prominence or the price goes down. They pull out and we're left with contaminated groundwater. Very many of our residents rely on groundwater for their source of drinking water for themselves and for their livestock and also for our wildlife. We need to make sure we have enough inspectors to keep tabs on all the operations that will surely spring up. We need to make sure that landowner rights are being respected in cases of split estates, where one person owns the surface rights, another person owns the mineral rights, and we need to make sure that adequate bonding is in place so that if an accident does occur or a company does go out of business, the taxpayers of South Dakota aren't left with the reclamation.
See the tax rights. I apologize for last time. I think we have to do it all. We have a variety of energy opportunities in South Dakota. Some have been mentioned, wind, solar, but I think nuclear energy is something that really has to come back on the forefront. It's been decades since there's been any real use or exploration of the nuclear alternative. We have low-grade uranium in South Dakota, which we have to get a decent study on. But the biggest thing is we've got to know what the cost is going to be. Is that cost going to have a benefit? Is the exploration, is the money that has to go into exploration and into refinement and making sure that that comes and is conveyed to the going to be cost effective? Possibly it may be a little more expensive than we want it to be, but the whole bottom line is to reduce our dependence on foreign oil and foreign alternatives. So it's very important to explore all the energy opportunities, specifically the uranium fields that we have in the northern part of the state. certainly need to be explored, and the things that are going on in Southern Hills as well. So I'm all for it. I think that there is the way we are set up now with the federal government, with the state, the environmental impacts are low, and they certainly won't go into anything that will be harmful for the state of South Dakota.
Regarding to the environmental impact on uranium mining, I support it because for the last 4 years the legislature has realized that we, as well as the United States, has to have to come up with alternative energy sources. There hasn't been a nuclear plant built in the United States for many, many years. In China, they're building one every month. I support the uranium mining, especially now that we have the Department of Environment and Natural Resources working on ensuring that there are no environmental problems. And I think that that's the biggest thing. Up in Harding County, when they first did some uranium mining up there, they just left the open pits, and this caused some problems. I know there's concerns down in and around Edgemont, but we have to do this, and I support it as long as we can control it environmentally.
Uranium? I'm in favor of exploring uranium, exploring all the alternative energy sources that we possibly can. Currently, we rely heavily on coal and natural gas. I think that in hydro, actually 59% of the electricity produced in South Dakota is from hydro. I believe that nuclear is a source that we need to explore. When I started this thing, I thought we could solve our problems with wind and solar, and I was informed indirectly, but I read a book, Energy 101 by Bill Hughes. He's a professor at the School of Mines. I recommend everyone read it. He said at the end of the day that we're going to rely on oil, gas, and nuclear. The wind doesn't blow all the time. The sun doesn't shine at the right times. You need the spinning capacity so that we can always have electricity when we turn the switch on. So we must, in my opinion, explore nuclear as one of the options that we have in South Dakota. And we are truly blessed in South Dakota with all the diverse sources that we have. We have a little hydro plant down in the park. And we're innovative and progressive in that we built a high school here about 20 years ago, and we utilized solar. And we learned some things from that. That wasn't the most successful thing in the world, but we tried it, and we learned from it. So I think there's some applications for wind and solar, but I do believe that nuclear is going to be one of the options that we need to explore.